here are three really useful examples of using auto layout for UI design. And even if you're not looking for solutions to a particular assignment, I still think watching this video might be useful. Because doing these kind of replicates the things that I was already showing in the main lessons anyway. But it's also showing using auto layout in very specific use cases. So in first one, we need to create a card that's gonna scale like this. So what we need to do is figure out how we're gonna solve this auto layout. So I can see a clear alignment in here. And I can also see that this element is centered, but that this part is kind of going and overlapping it. And that's one part that could be a little bit tough on how to do. I'm gonna approach it one way, but there's also a different solution to it. And it's basically kind of, instead of going from top to bottom, it's going from left to right. And it's gonna make sense in a second. So I'm gonna bring these two items together because they're gonna be one auto layout. And I'm gonna combine them with this. So you can see that now the centering and everything is not working as we'd kind of hope. Oh, I have another idea. Honestly, I'm gonna combine this into an auto layout as well. I'm gonna change the direction like this. I think I'm gonna make it smaller because that's probably smaller. It might be even smaller than that, so maybe 4. And I'm gonna do this as like 12. That looks good. I'm gonna grab these two, turn them into an auto layout. I'm gonna align them the way I think they're aligned. And I'm just gonna give this like 16, maybe 24, maybe 32. I don't know, I think it might be 24. And then I'm gonna align these as an auto layout like this. I'm gonna add some spacing like that. I'm gonna add padding to this auto layout. I feel like the bottom part is probably a little bit bigger. I'm gonna add a fill to it. I'm not gonna make it a style because I don't think we have something that's gonna be as transparent like this. And then I'm also gonna add a stroke, and I'm gonna make it like 2 or 3, maybe it's 2. I also think it has some border radius in here, maybe something like this. And it's already looking pretty good, but there's a couple of things that are missing. So one thing I can notice is that it's missing some kind of a shadow. I can also see, and one reason why I detached it is as soon as you're using a style, you can't add another effect to it. But if the styles are not styles, if the effects are not styles, you can add multiple styles to it. So one other thing we need to do is add a background blur for this kind of background effect. And I think we're getting really close to the solution of this. There's just one item that isn't working like you would love it to do. And one of the reasons why all of these items are connected in one auto layout is because that allows me to add top and bottom padding to things. So I'm just gonna go in here, go to the top, and try to get it centered with this. And I feel like this is what we were looking for. Now the final thing is also ensuring that everything scales properly, so we need to change this one into a fill container instead of hug contents, because that means that it won't be influenced by the width of this element. I'm gonna change it to fill container. I'm gonna change this one to fill container, and I'm also gonna change this one to fill container. And we have it like that, and now it resizes correctly. Awesome. So that one is solved. Again, like parts of this, like padding, I'm not 100% sure. We can drag it over and figure out if it's, honestly, it looks really, really close to where we want it to be. So I think that's basically done. The other part is creating a simple table. The width of the table should be 600 pixels. So we already know that the main auto layout is going to have fixed set for it. First thing that I can see is definitely these two items are always going to stay together, so I'm just going to create auto layouts out of them. We need to create one row for income and another one for withdrawals. Both should have the same auto layout rules applied. Okay, so that means that everything in this table is going to be the same. We can just kind of do this for both of them. But as you can see, it's not really 100% working. One other thing that I want to add is a bottom stroke. So I'm just going to go in here, switch to the bottom, and make it something like this. And I'm going to add some padding to the top and bottom of these layers in here. I'm going to make both of them fixed width of 600 already in the beginning, and I'm going to create an auto layout from them. And then I'm going to go inside each one of these and try to figure out what we need to do to make this work. One of the things that I think is happening is I need to make this space between, but that still doesn't position elements that I would like them to be. So I need to make both of these, instead of hung contents, I need to make them a fixed width like this, and then make these layers fill container inside, because if the text inside is going to be too big, I can still make it kind of work. So I'm going to take this and maybe make it like, I don't know, something that seems like it would work for the text that could be a part of this content in here. Next, we need to do the same thing in here, or we need to make them the items kind of fill container, which feels like it's not the right solution. So I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to make them fixed width. I'm going to make them something like 160. And I'm going to do the same thing in here. I'm going to make them fixed width, and I'm going to make them, I don't know, 144. And I'm just going to align them to the right. So that's one way of solving it. I can also see that there was some kind of styling in here that wasn't applied. So I'm just going to take that, copy the color from here, copy the color from here. Another way would be for all of these elements to kind of fill the container in a sense. But if you do that, that means that in here, it switched from spacing mode back to space between. So that's why we don't want that. And you can also see from this example that if you do like everything correctly, and then you change just one other thing, it's going to reset all of the things in the all of the child elements as well. So just keep that in mind. We have 3 positive, 3 negative transactions. I just place them like this, centered. I'm not gonna kind of read what's happening in there. So one thing that you can see because of that, I can still have this table scalable. The only thing that I had to switch was switch the from fixed width to hot contents, so that this would allow me to change the width of the table, because if you remember from the beginning of the video, I made all of the child elements inside of this table a fixed width of 600, so it applied to the main auto layout. By changing that to flexible like this, so it's hugging contents, I had to also reset this from fixed 600 to actually fill container. But because we did all of the right settings on all of the inner child elements, now this table is like fully responsive, and we can stretch it however much we need to. Okay. And then for the final element, we need to put everything that we learned so far into practice, and we need to kind of just with these 4 elements create a card. One thing that I really want to do, and I hope you don't mind it, is I do want to make this video with this card a free sample for everyone who wants to give this course a try. Of course, if you like this course, if you like what you're learning and the tempo that you're doing it at, please do leave us a review. Also, if there's anything that can be better. As you know, this was a part of our big update for like the first quarter of 2023. If you want something else in the next update that we're gonna make, when there's enough like feedback from other people and there's something that we can do with that feedback and kind of create something useful for you, we always do it. So if there's something that you'd also like to see, just add a review in here. So I'm gonna leave this video at this point, just because I want to make the part of creating this responsive card a free preview for anyone else who hasn't enrolled and maybe they want to see how we teach this part of solving the problems like this. So see you in the next video if you have struggled with creating this card.